The truck is loaded. We're ready to roll. We're gonna go get Grandma. Good morning.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Ready to go?
You bet. Are you ready for the big day?
I think so.
We're starting everything on camera. You're gonna be so sick of this.
No, I'm not. I think it's marvelous that we could have it.
I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
I've had my cooked cereal.
Got your breakfast and you're all ready to go, huh?
Sure am.
Well, good deal.
Need to put this away first and then.
Mike's still loading. Girls don't pack light, do they, Mike? Woo! Oh, you can see your breath. It must be 0 degrees out here. Jeez. Can't see it in the.
I don't know what it is out here, but it's got to be.
It's down in the single digits. You look like you're ready for a fun trip.
Well, I am. I'm thrilled and tickled.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go to Goshen.
Hey.
Well, here we are on our way to Utah. It is the 26th of December, 2002. And we are between St. John's and Holbrook. Coming into the turnoff to the petrified, hey man, petrified National Forest. Snowed out here. Ice crystals are formed on everything. As you go down the road, they just wink at you. Like little crystal winks there.
Flashing. Woodruff Peak.
Oh, it's surrounded in a cloud. Look at that.
Yeah, weird. All this snow around Holbrook. Incredible. We're leaving Flagstaff. Here we go on our road again. Hey, Mike. See you in the rearview mirror.
Ah, yes,
See?
yes. There we go. Look how low that lake is, you guys. Look at that. I haven't seen that much rock exposed ever like that.
That is unbelievably low.
That is amazing. Up around the corner here, you can see the rock, the bedrock. Take a look. You can really see it here. Look right over this edge. Look at that.
Oh.
Have you ever seen that?
No, we can see how white it's bleached because it hasn't.
That's why. That's the sign of an 8 to 10 year drought that's been going on in the west right there.
Incredible. Incredibly low.
I've walked to the 3 up there and down to this first one in the bottom.
Have you ever taken one of those towers down to the electrical turbines down in the dam itself?
Yes, right there, that first one.
I've never been down to one of those.
Apples and watching TV, and as I looked up again from the apple to the TV, I didn't see the one I didn't see, and loaded me in the car and went me to the University of Utah, and they worked on me all night long, but they said that they had had many people that had happened to, and they'd never been able to repair the eye. And so after they worked on me all night, they just sent me home. Here I am, 30 years later.
Yeah, but you had an experience where you're in the bathroom and just keeled over, had a stroke or something.
Oh, when I ran up the stairs, and my eye wouldn't see, said to Walt, "Oh, I've gone blind. I've gone blind. I can't see a thing. I can't see a thing." Of course, this was nervousness, see. And so I ran upstairs. I said, "I'll go up where it's lighter upstairs and see if I can see anything up there." When I got up there, I stumbled as I went into the bathroom and just sprawled right out by the foot of the toilet. Sprawled right out in front of it. And Mike was busy trying to get the emergency.
Not me, Dad.
Yeah, emergency. And they said, "They're out on a call, but they're up in your area. We'll see what we can do about it." And so I hung up, and the next thing I knew is I turned over on my back and looked straight up at the ceiling, and here was all these policemen standing looking down at me. And they said, "How do you feel?" And I said, "I don't know." And they said, "Are you afraid?" "No, I'm not afraid." What can you tell us?" And I said, "Now that's your job. What can you tell me?" I said to them, and they said, "Well, you've got something to the effect that you've got a sense of humor anyway." And they all just stood and looked down at me. And I finally said, "Well, all this has happened because I've been fearful of death. And from the time I laid down here, when I turned over and looked up and I saw all of you, I have this feeling, this almost worded in my mind that says, well, this is not so bad. I could die like this, and that wouldn't be so bad." And from that time on, I never was fearful of death. But when I was in the mission field in Australia, Brother Ensign used to make an example of me, because anyone that belonged to the church, over there.
There we go. Let's see. Yep, it's recording now. Gotta talk loud though.
I remember Grandma Barker coming to me.
Tell us about that.
Walt and I just gone to bed in that big front room, and a picture window behind us.
That was in Tilly's place. 564 East 5th South.
Yep. And so we just gone to bed, and that's the last I remember, because all at once I was wide awake, and my grandmother, who had died 9 years before, was standing with her hands folded across her big chest. She had a big chest, and her hands folded across her chest, and she was looking right down at me, and she had asked me to do her genealogy before she left, and I said, "Sure I would, I'd do it," but I hadn't done much on it. And she stood and looked down at me, and her arms across her chest, and her red hair just shaking like this.
She didn't have a very happy look on her face, did she?
Oh no.
Stern look?
Oh, a stern look. It was like I'd seen Grandma lots of times whenever she punished me. And I said to her, "Don't say a word, don't say a word, don't say a word. I know what you want, and I'll do it." And when I said I'll do it, she went 3 times. Just kept in tune with me on her chest. And so
hadn't you made a promise to her when she was still alive?
Oh yes. every other one of the kids and grandkids had gone to her and talked to her about her genealogy, and they wanted her to sit down and tell them about it. But she knew that I gathered lots of pictures, and she knew what I'd done with my own family, and so she decided that I was the one she wanted to do it. And so I did. I just told her, I said, well, I know what you want, and I'll do it. Now,
Did she just disappear? She was there?
At that minute, Walt raised up in bed to the side of me, and he says, "What are you doing?" and I said, "Lay down, or you won't be able to walk." And I tell you, and so we laid back down in the bed. We just laid there, and I told him about it.
Of course, he knew her.
Yes, he knew Grandma.
That was Grandma Barker?
Uh-huh.
No, was it Grandma Barker?
Yes, that was my mother's mother. And so
What did she have on, Mom? Do you remember how she was dressed? Did she just look like she was all like she always had been?
I didn't see anything but the arm folded across that big double chest and the red hair. That's all I saw. And it was firm, and it was a mean look. And I said to her,
she didn't say a word to her.
I said, I know what you want, and I'll do it. So we're gonna do it. And so I got Grandma's. Then I went down to Grandpa Barker, and I told him about this, and he went into a back bedroom and brought out everything that Grandma had written. And she had written a complete history of Grandpa, because I don't think he could write. And he was club-footed, and his grandmother carried him across the plains on her hip.
Wow.
For the gospel. Well, so I got Grandma's history, and it fits into one of those books, my memory book, like this size. And she had written on this, and there was that many pages in it, lots and lots of pages. And she told everything the way it was. It was really a very precious thing to have. For example, I'll just tell you one funny thing. She had a heart attack, and they took her to the hospital, and when she got to the hospital, they brought her a cup of tea. And of course she doesn't drink tea, but the minute she looked in the teacup, she wrote this all up on her journal. When she looked in the teacup, there was something black in there, and she thought it was a mouse that had drowned in her teacup. And she wrote all this up in her journal, and gave it to me. And she said that she told the nurse, I won't drink anything that there's been a dead mouse in. And then she said, and no matter what the nurse said, I didn't listen to her. I just said, just go on about your own business and take care of what you need to. But whatever you say to me won't make one bit of difference on how I feel.
You inherited some of that from her, didn't you?
Yeah. Well,
Tell Margaret about that experience out in Goshen. We'll wait till we get out there. I want you to tell that experience with that old man that came that came and disappeared. You know who I'm talking about?
no.
That Grandma Page said she felt was one of the Nephite disciples.
Oh, yes.
You're the only person alive that was there. In fact, you and Grandma were the only ones there, weren't you?
Yes. And
let's go ahead and tell that story, and then when we get out to Goshen, we'll photograph that, because this is really a classic.
Well, and I'm perturbed about it because Mama said to me, you tell this to no one. This is right from the Lord, and you tell it to no one, and you promise me. And I said, I tell it to no one. And Brother Packer sent Sister Packer to me and asked me about it.
Well, Zim told me.
Yes.
In fact, I know parts of it that you didn't know.
I guess so.
She told me that she got a blessing from a man at Indianola, Utah, Spanish Fort Canyon. You know this?
Yes, I know this.
I don't know if he was a patriarch or what. All I remember is that there was a man up there that gave her a blessing when she was a younger woman. In that blessing, he said, it will be your privilege to have one of the Nephite disciples dine at your table.
Yes.
That was in that blessing. She told me that. And she looked for it all of her life. And then this happened. Tell Margaret what happened.
Well, you add whatever as I go along. You add what you know.
Because we're going to photograph where this took place. This is a classic family story.
We sat at the kitchen table, and I don't know what we were doing at the table, but all at once it was a knock on the back door, and there was a big screen porch clear across the back of our house.
This house is still standing, just exactly the way it was.
And so we sat at this table, and then the screen door at the back of the house, all at once there was someone at the door, and Mama said, go to the door. And I got up and went to the back door, and here was a man dressed in a light suit. I don't know whether it was an off beige or not, but it was light, and it looked like someone that had never come to Goshen, you know, because no one in Goshen wore a white suit. Anyway.
Let me fill in something right here.
All right.
This was during the Depression years. And it was in the day of the hobo.
Yep.
And you had hobos that were going from coast to coast all through this country trying to find work.
Yes.
And they would come through Goshen, and if there was a place in town that was kindly, that would feed them, if they would chop some wood, they'd get a meal. These hobos had their own language, and they would leave signs all around the place for fellow hobos that said, you can go to this place and they'll treat you fairly. They won't be mean at you. They'll give you a meal. They'll give you a place to sleep. You can sleep in the barn. So they had this language, the hobo language, all the way across this country. And Grandma said that they were always coming through your area there.
There was never one in Camden Goshen that we didn't get them.
Well, the reason is the word was out.
Yeah,
and it was written there.
Yes.
And so if they go out and chop some wood or do some chores, they can always get a good meal.
Well, but Mama wouldn't give them anything unless they would pick up chips and chop wood. She made it. So I went to the back door, and here was this man standing in the suit, and I said, come in. And I said, Mom and I are having, I don't know whether it was a glass of milk or a piece of toast or something simple like that. And while we were sitting at the table, and the man followed me in through the back porch and into the kitchen, and Mama jumped to her feet and poured an extra glass of milk and fixed an extra piece of bread for him, and he sat down and don't know much of the conversation.
I know some, but Grandma told me.
All right, you go ahead and tell right now, and then I'll tell you what I know.
Well, they were sitting there eating this meal, and I guess it was later in the afternoon, or something like that. At any rate, she started questioning him, and she described how he looked, first of all, asking where he was coming from. He said he was coming from down south. Where are you going? I'm heading north. Do you have family? Nobody's alive. Something to the effect that he couldn't get a job anywhere because he couldn't prove he'd ever been born. Didn't have any records. He couldn't get a job because he couldn't prove he'd ever been born. And then Grandma described him as an older man, but had a white beard.
Yes.
With white hair, but was close cropped. It wasn't long. His hair was cropped close underneath here. But the thing that she said is that a lot of these old timers that have white beard had all kinds of food stains and tobacco stains and stuff like that. And the thing that impressed Grandma was there was no stains anywhere around his mouth. Not on his mustache or his beard. That's the one thing she said was that she noticed, first of all, was number one, he was very clean, and number two, he didn't have any stains on his beard. So he sat there at your table and ate with you two guys for quite a while, didn't he?
Yes, he sat and ate everything that Mama put out for him, and I gulped down everything that I had on the table there, and so did Mama. And finally, he said, well, he needed to go and to thank us kindly for what we'd done, and got up, and I walked in the back door with him to the screen door and left him standing there. And I came back into the house and said to Mama, well, he's gone. And she says, run to the front door and see if you can find him. And so and then she called me back and said, don't go through the house, go out the back door just the way he went. And so I ran there, and I don't think there was any other kids home at the time. It was just me and Mom.
You two is what she said.
And so I ran around the south end of the house and out to the front, and there was no car, there was no horse or bridle or saddle, there was not one thing out there.
And you followed him immediately when he went out, didn't you?
Yes, I went right after him. And then I said to Mama, came to the window and pounded on the window, and I said to Mama, I can't find him. I can't find him. She says, run to Beth and see if he's been there. Run over to Brother Fowler's and see if he's been there. These are the neighbors, see that. And so I ran up to Beth and Wallace. They hadn't seen a soul. And I ran over to Brother Fowler, and he hadn't seen a soul around. And so then Mama called me back and said, this is our secret. We must not tell this to anyone.
Did she tell you who she thought it might be at that point?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said that it was one of the apostles that was left on the earth.
Now, she told Donna Packer this story, I believe.
Yes, she did.
Donna went and told President Packer, Boyd
Yes.
Packer.
And Boyd
Didn't
said,
Donna come back and checked in at the Hampton Hotel in Las Vegas. We're going to spend the night here. And we're just giving Grandma a rough time for being a light traveler. She traveled real light. Here's one pair of garments. We're on the road for 5 days. And Grandma says, where in hell is the beehive clothiers?
That's just in case. It's totally empty.
Because we gotta buy some garments here. Grandma, hold your feet up there. This is our shoes.
They're
Okay.
shoes.
I have to find a shop. Are we in Provo? Are we?
We're in Las Vegas.
No.
We're gonna go to Provo.
Oh.
And we're gonna get you some shoes to match your dress on Sunday. You're all right, Grandma.
Well.
We love you. That's good.
Oh, now that takes care of everything.
Mhm.
Yes, we love you. That's what
You're
we
all
need
right.
to say.
Okay, now start it. Now say.
And go ahead. We're talking about Grandpa had the fastest horse in the country. His name was Bay Demon. Okay, go ahead.
And we were up Eureka, and then I heard Ratius whistle, and that man come, and he had all these men circled around, wanting to. He said he could beat any horse that they could line up, and then he blew the whistle, and here I came. Down, I was up with the younger kids, but I knew the whistle and came, and he held the horse by put this bridle thing in his mouth, and held that horse and legged me on.
And you got on bareback, no saddle.
No saddle. He wouldn't let me ever wear a saddle. Use a saddle. He said I could sail off free.
If you came off, you wouldn't get caught in the stirrups.
That's right. You'd sail off free.
Better to come off and take your bumps than to get drugged to death.
And we had a whole acre of ground, and I'll show you that acre of ground that's
Okay.
right above our house tomorrow. I'll show you that acre of ground. And when I do, he would plow that up every year. Twice a year he would hook up the harness and plow that up until that's the way we raced the horse. He would put us on the horse to.
He wouldn't let you race it anywhere but in that plowed field.
That's right, because then we get through off, and that we wouldn't get hurt.
Huh.
Kind of neat.
Tell the story about going to be sent down to the store to pick up a bag of flour or sugar or something on horseback. What was that?
Well,
This is a great story.
We had no. There's only one at that time. There's only one little Model T Ford in all of Goshen. There was no other cars. And Mom wanted me to get it was sugar, Mike.
Sack of sugar.
Sack of sugar, and I couldn't carry it home unless I put it on a horse. So I just jumped on the horse and went to the store. I went just as fast as that horse could go.
You were always just flat out, weren't you? Because you were kind of reckless and that, just fearless.
Yes. Yep. And
Reminds me of somebody
Fort
else I know.
Stinson would say to Mama, "Oh my hell, keep that girl inside and don't go to the windows when she goes by, because she shows off." And so, well, anyway, so I went to the store and got the sugar, and we had a charge account there that every at the end of each month, then my dad would take so many of the cattle out of our herd and put them in Oakberry's herd, and that would pay off our bill, see? So I went to the store to get the sugar and got it. They put it on the horse in front of me, and I started back. And as I came to a ditch, I usually went on the south side of the ditch to go across. But you could go on the west side, the south, or the west. And so I got to this place, and the horse decided to go where he'd been going on the south side, and I was leaning to the other side, and I fell off the horse, and the sugar landed right in the pit of my stomach and knocked me out.
Ouch.
And the neighbors saw me fall, and they just didn't do anything about it, only send up word to Mama, Eileen's down here, and she's got so many pounds of sugar in her stomach, and you need to come and take her home. So when
You were gasping for air or something.
oh yes, I can. Yes, Mama would say, "You don't need to make that much noise." To me.
What noise were you making?
Mama would say, "You don't need to make that much noise. Just hold it down."
Dying for lack of air. Hold it down.
Yes, and she'd say, "Don't put on a show for these people."
How old were you?
Oh, God. About 13 or 14, somewhere out in there.
It'd have been 1924. Pre-Depression era.
Oh, we hit the Depression area. It was terrible. We were some of the people, we were a few of the people that had plenty to eat because we raised it.
Yeah, you told me that you guys, if you hadn't seen the people in the area and the hobos, you wouldn't even known there was a depression going on. But my dad, who lived in Salt Lake City, see, here's the difference between city and country. They had to work and scrape, and he worked 4 or 5 jobs, didn't he? He worked 4 or 5 jobs just to, his dad was dead, and my dad was the father and the breadwinner and everything at a very young age for that family and all the younger brothers and sisters. And he worked 4 or 5 jobs all the way through the Depression, had to drop out of school in order to go to work to put food and money on the table. He was the dad and breadwinner and everything for that family when and it was just, it was root hog or die up there in Salt Lake.
And he never raised his voice to the kids, us kids. He never ever slapped me. He never ever kicked my butt or anything like that that I had others say that they had done, had done to them. But Cyril said she didn't mind my dad, but I did. Cyril said that she and her girlfriend watched every time they'd come to have a horse bred, that they'd lay on their bellies up in the at the top of the ice house and watch the breeding going on. And Ray had already blown the whistle and said, "Go into the house, please. Go into the house." And I'd go into the house, but Cyril told me later on in life that she watched every move of the breeding of the horses. That's it.
That guy's trapped inside that. There's no way he can get out of that thing. I used to drive those. That's scary to have one of those goers properly full of cement.
We went on a mission to Australia before we did. And they lived down here. And
He worked at the temple, right?
He worked at the temple. And he dug into things like you do, Mike. Bear did. And knew the bases. And he walked me around all these streets and showed me that once upon a time there was a complete city under this city. And this is built on top of it. Mesa.
Indian village or something?
No, it was a good, honest upright. Not Indian. That sounds right.
commentary here.
We are at the Red Lob. We are at the Red Lobster.
It's a well-known place in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Red Lobster in Orem, Utah, with Craig and Lynette. We finally reached here. Finally got here. And we just had quite an experience buying Grandma some garments and a dress to get married in.
And
Oh, excuse me, to get buried in.
Yes, buried in.
And I wasn't there to behold what went on.
Oh,
So,
you miss it. It was classic.
yes, what happened?
It was so classic. Tell us about your experience, Grandma.
What took place over there? What did you do?
I lifted my chest and threw in the middle and lifted the skirt to see how it would be when it would fit.
Pretty risky, aren't you?
Thank you.
Pretty risky.
And everyone else ran and waited on me. They just looked at all this gray hair. Oh, they just ran in circles and waited on me. They even measured me to see what, and looked on the inside of my garment.
For your size?
Clear down to the
She couldn't
waist.
see. I told you you
Clear
can't
down
read
to
it.
the waist. And said you take number such and such.
Yeah. Well, your other ones are worn out.
She was going to get 5 tops and then go. 5 bottoms
tops.
and go. And I said,
5
how about some
bottoms.
tops?
Don't take any more of me. I want to open my mouth wider and I can't do it with that in it.
Oh, darn. Okay. So commentary.
Well, Brigham Young prophesied that before the second coming of the Lord, that people would live from one side of this valley to the other, from mountain range to mountain range, and there would be as many people on the west side of the Jordan River as there was on the east.
Yes, yes,
Remember that?
yes, I know that. I know
Oh,
that.
that just happened in my lifetime.
There's the Jordan River Temple there.
But you look over on the right-hand side of us going down this hill now, and you're looking into Draper area.
That's right.
And
Draper,
Draper
Sandy,
area
and
goes right up to the foot of the mountain.
She is bumpy.
Draper and Riverton.
Yes.
You're getting a little color.
Yeah.
Looking north down West Temple. This is West Temple. West Temple on 5th South.
Yes.
So good, I mean.
Oh,
Look at it, it's
there's
so
the
pretty.
building. There's the
Pretty cool, huh?
Oh my golly. Oh my golly.
It's going to be pretty inside.
Yeah, knock the socks off.
I've never ever seen this. Whoa. Probably dumbed the video out here, but I don't care.
Now I've never seen
Center,
no,
have you?
none of the conference
Take a
center.
look over here. We're going to
There
go
it
right by
is.
it.
No.
That whole building right there, Mom.
Oh,
That's the
look at
conference
that.
center.
All I've seen is in the
Look at that baby Mania on the back of that van.
What's he doing?
It's just a big baby on the back of the drawn picture on the back of the van. There's a conference center.
That's all right.
watch.
Well, it's hard to tell. People do crazy things without you knowing. Lots of cool lights.
You see, I've never seen any of this.
Isn't that pretty?
None of that.
Have you ever been up on top?
No, I've
never
never.
did.
Look how pretty the temple looks from here.
Mhm. So pretty. Pretty dirty windshield, darn. Oh, cool. Check it out. I want to go see the reflecting pool. I bet that would look awesome. I want to get a picture at night.
I don't know anything about a reflector.
They have a big, huge
Brand new.
pool.
It used to be Main Street, and now you go down, it's a parking garage.
Ooh, check it out.
Oh, I've never seen.
That is so awesome.
Oh, I've never been down there. See, I've just walked up and down that.
Right, Mom.
Okay. Oh, look. Oh, look.
Yeah, we're gonna have to walk around.
Oh,
We'll walk
golly.
around it. I'm
I'm wondering what this is.
Oh,
It's dangling
am I
in my
getting that in
heart.
your head? There's that little baby thing. Look again.
baby man.
The lights down that row, huh?
Oh, that's
That's
gorgeous.
just jillion lights.
How long did they say it took them?
Center.
I know that place.
Ooh, look to the right, Grandma.
Oh,
Isn't that awesome?
Oh, how gorgeous. Yes.
Here comes another cool tree.
We don't see it here. We're gonna have to come and find out.
Now, what's that?
Mervin's. Look at that. Whoa, check out that view.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Maybe along here if it's anywhere, because this is Temple Square.
Parking right there to the left of it, see?
Utah Woolen Mills parking. In Temple Square. This is this whole place right here.
Here we are, smile guys. She's saying, you again?
No, I'm not.
Home away from home. Pretty cool room. We gotta get this whole trip on video, see?
Okay.
There's Grandma's corner.
Neat room. Nice room. Try that bed and see how it feels, Grandma. All right.
I'm going to get
Let's
Get
see.
your stuff on.
my nightgown off.
Well, robes for us.
My nightgown off.
Ah, there I am. Hello.
That's all I need.
Where are you?
We forgot to get our picture in the mirror that last time.
All right.
2 nights.
Temple Square.
Pretty cool.
Southeast corner of West Temple and
There's our tour.
of West Temple and
Right
west
across
to
from the
south.
temple. Directly.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're in room number 416.
Forgot one thing. There is a phone in the bathroom. Is that so incredible?
Okay, let me come in and take a look.
Check it out. See, there's
Tell
a phone.
them.
Pretty darn cool. Hey, look, there's somebody I know. You get me and I'll get you.
Dueling cameras.
I did.
If you turn it off, you'll get the lights rather than the. Just hold it really, really still because of the.
That's why it takes us thousands of hours to get it done.
See how many people's heads we can get. We can get a bunch.
I was going to say,
Well, I just was gonna get it walking down through the thing.
Here we are on the
Narrate.
south side of the assembly hall, walking west.
Okay. Totally wrapped around. Incredible.
they used to, I mean, it's always like television.
What? Oh, good.
Tell what
Okay,
you
I want to
heard
hear
on
it.
They reported on TV, KSL something, that they have 1,000 people, 200 full-time employees, 800 volunteers. They got put in about 1,000 hours each to get this up.
Did they say how many lights there are? Incredible. There's a
I don't know if
picture.
they said it or if I just don't remember.
Okay, stop right here, Mike. I gotta get a snapshot of
Up
that.
through the temple with it.
Yeah, that's like incredible. Oh yeah.
I have scarf. Pretty good at walking with that thing. I'd be all over the dang street. Nativity scene.
Yeah.
Do not be lost. No. No. Oh, yeah. I did a lot. You go right down there and go right back.
Bigger than the one in the conference center.
Come on.
Got a video.
I let it last time.
Anything out, so they.
They have to keep it. Because it shows off the definition.
Anything out, so they.
They have to keep it. Because it shows off the definition. Page about.
Okay, I need to see the camera now. I know it's gonna drive you crazy, but.
No, it's not. Another story for you. Since then, the guy who Michael Hoffman was going to school was employed to work in the cafeteria. One of the workers in charge of one of the rooms up in there took the packer for the camera.
Right.
Over Smith Building. So where does this lawsuit stand right now?
Well,
The suit was thrown out. Oh, the suit's still in effect because it was placed by ACLU?
Right, yes.
Okay.
So the issue is,
Those are bubbles.
Are they?
You see that? Well, I mean, they're the shape of bubbles.
They're neat, aren't they? 100 degrees.
Bubbles.
Did you get one of example reflecting in the pool?
Not yet.
Walk up here and get a on that.
and she's always had a piece of
I haven't seen a word that I understand yet.
I think it says love.
Love?
American Sign.
Love in American Sign. This is hope in Mandarin. Oh, it tells you. Peace in Tagalog. Hope, rejoice.
That's the
Kids were playing water this time of night.
Should we go eat?
Yep, I'm ready. Are you ready to eat?
Or my mouth's open, so
No,
I
it's
guess I'm
not
having
even
my picture
open. I'm
taken.
just getting the glamour girl today.
Okay.
Let's see some poses. Come on, you got to give me some poses. Perfect. Perfect.
Looks like you practiced that all your life.
Oh.
Let's see your poses, Mike.
I practiced one pose when they bring me my trainers from the BYU and the U of U, and I had so many steps that I took to the door when I knew that they were coming,
Oh,
and it was all right. It worked. It worked pretty doggone good.
I've tried to call Peg all morning and nobody answers at her place. Do you know Kathy's married name, her last name? Neither do I. I called Barry to try and find out and nobody answers there.
What did Peg say she was going on some kind of a trip?
Yeah, but not till
Not
into
till
January.
January.
Yeah.
She probably just can't hear the phone.
Oh, Peg runs for. She's got a little bag,
Hearing aid?
and just no. It's everything. It's everything with her from her false teeth on. If I ever get falser teeth, you heard me say because I've got a
Falser?
yes.
If you ever get falser teeth.
Yes. If I get falser teeth.
You still got most of your teeth, don't you?
Yeah, I have everything but this little teeny bit right here.
That's something.
It's incredible.
Right there.
We have 3 minutes left on this tape. So run it out.
Well, let's go down.
Okay.
Huh.